So this tutorial is for O Holy Night, and basically also to help anyone to be able to read music in 6/8 time. 6/8 time belongs to a musical time signature category called compound time. It's called compound time because it's based on groups of 3, so within one bar. So if you look at the 6/8 time, it has, as it says in the time signature, 6/8 notes in each measure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other category of time signatures we call simple time, and that's the ones we're more familiar with, such as 4/4, 3/4, 2/4. You know, those more common ones that we're all used to seeing. That's simple time because 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in each bar. 1, 2, 1, 2 in 2/4. That's called simple time. It's not compounded like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Others in that compound time are 9/8, 12/8. Now I try and avoid compound time. It's a little harder to read, but once you understand how to do it, how to break it down, it's not that difficult at all. And sometimes when I'm arranging a song that may be written in compound time, I try and avoid it. Sometimes you can, and other times you can't. I found that when I was looking at writing out "O Holy Night," it's pretty much best to lay it down in compound time and to read it that way. And it is an easy one, so it's a nice entry-level one into practicing and learning how to read in 6/8 time. 4/4 is the most commonly used time signature. That's why it's often called common time in simple time. And in compound time, 6/8 is the most commonly used. It has that as opposed to common time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're a little more straight ahead. So let's have a look at that first melody note on bar 9. It's a dotted quarter note, which is equal to 3/8 notes, right? 1, 2, 3. So that dotted quarter note is equal to 3/8, meaning it gets 3 counts. That is half the measure for that dotted quarter note because it equals 3/8 notes. Now the second note is a quarter note, and then the third note is an 1/8 note. So that quarter note and that 1/8 note equal the same count as that first dotted quarter note. So here's our count. Da, 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 right? Oh, holy. That's how you would count it. So that whole line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That's how we sort of analyze it rhythmically. Once you're able to read it that way, I suggest looking at this 6/8 time signature and thinking of it as 2 beats per measure, 2 quarter beats, right? So we're turning this groove here, this count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see how the 1 and the 4 we naturally accent them because they're the first eighth note of the group, right? There's two groups of 3/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So forget about the counting every single eighth for now and just go 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, holy night. Da 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 da. See, we're only counting 1 and 2, but that feeling, that pulsating compounded rhythm is still there in the background, and it's there in the music. But it's going to make our job of reading it easier in the long run. You might not find it easy at first because you're going to have to look at that dotted quarter note as a 1. In our head, we're thinking of the dotted quarter note as one beat. If we count 1, 2, 1, 2, da 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 da. Bar 13, da 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 da. So ba 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 ba. So you're almost reading that like a triplet if it was common time. Ba 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 ba, because the back rhythm is like this. It's triplets, right? It's groups of 3, which is like a triplet. Kind of equates to a triplet if we're sort of transposing this into common time way of reading, which is what we're actually doing. Instead of constantly counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're counting 1, 2. We're kind of simplifying things, slowing things down. We don't really want to be reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can, and sometimes you have to when you're learning the song, to break down maybe a particularly more difficult bar. You'll slow it down and you'll break it down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bum, bum, bum. You know, when you see a couple of 16th notes, like you will see here a couple times. But once you work it out and get that rhythm in your head, you want to be thinking 1, 2, 1. So bar 13, ba ba ba